Hi everyone. So I think by now everyone's done their test. If you haven't done the test, there will be a link. I'm not sure where it's going to be, maybe up there or over there, but there will be a link on the page. Use the link, do the test first. Very important. If you don't test yourself, you think you know, but you don't know whether you don't know. It's always good to test yourself. If you don't test, if you don't fail, and then see the right answer, you will not make progress. So if you haven't done the test, do it now. Use the link. Okay, good. If you have done the test, great. Well done for doing it. Perhaps some of your answers will be wrong. That's fine. You will see the right answer, and then you can actively practice with that chunk using the right action chunk afterwards. There's no problem. There's no shame in getting something wrong. It's one step forward. Okay, so without further ado, let's see the answers. So the first chunk was I sometimes. I'm using drink water, so I'm sometimes. I'll give you a few seconds to say it out loud. Okay, and what is the answer? I sometimes drink water. So type 1 is the most obvious answer here, because sometimes shows that it's a repeated action. Also possible with sometimes, I sometimes used to drink water. So I don't drink water now, but in the past I used to. But you could use sometimes in that way. I sometimes would drink water after playing tennis. So again, this would drink water, used to drink water, both have a similar meaning, that you did something regular in the past, but you don't do it now. I had to. I had to drink water. Here is a common mistake. I had to drink water. So past. In English, you don't get this past pattern. So I got some more examples here. I didn't drink water. I started to drink water. I used to drink water. What I'm highlighting here is the pattern. Type 2, type 1. Type 2, type 1. Type 2, type 1. So when you're talking about the past, this is a very common pattern. I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of drinking water. Here we have the of, and because the of is telling us it needs a type 4 afterwards. Here's a couple of other examples. She's used to drinking water. This is related to drinking water. I enjoy, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy drinking water. So enjoy is one of these verbs that needs a type 4 afterwards. And notice that it comes straight afterwards. There's no words in between. I enjoy drinking water. A couple other examples with other verbs. She avoids drinking water. I can't help drinking water. They feel like drinking water. Would you mind? Would you mind drinking water? Mind is also a verb that needs a type 4 afterwards. And also in the question form, the verbs we used before, does she enjoy drinking water? Why does he fancy drinking water? Why do they feel like drinking water? So a lot of drinking water. He should definitely drink water. So it takes a type 1. A common mistake here, he should to definitely drink water. So a lot of people like to put a to after should. It doesn't exist in English. Well, it does exist in English, but it's not correct. Native speakers don't do this. And other modal verbs, they're called modal verbs. Other modal verbs are like should. So could, would, might. So here are the examples. Perhaps he could drink water. I would drink water. He might drink more water if. She's addicted to. She's addicted to drinking water. So this to, it's called a preposition and it wants a type 4 after it. To is a little bit tricky in English because sometimes it's a preposition, sometimes it's linked to the verb, like decide to, want to. And those ones will take a type 1. But here, the to is a preposition, so it wants a type 4. And we got other tos that are prepositions here. So I look forward to drinking water. They're used to drinking water. His approach to drinking water. Which type do you add to this one? I'm sitting in this boring meeting when I should be. I'm sitting in this boring meeting when I should be drinking water. So in this sentence, you can see there are two actions. One is a real action. So I'm sitting in this boring meeting. That action is happening now. And the other one, the should be drinking water, is the ideal action. This would be the right action to be doing. But it's not happening because you have to do, because maybe you don't have to do, but you're doing this other action, which is sitting in a boring meeting. A similar one to this would be could be drinking water. So I'm sitting in this boring meeting when I could be drinking water. So could be offers different possibilities. Should be is highlighting what the ideal action is. I was, which action type? At 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. I was drinking water, type 4, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. So notice the type 4 action, drinking water, and the time. The time, I would call it a type 4 time. Notice the at 3 o'clock. It's a specific time. So you will see this match between a type 4 action and a type 4 time. So type 4 times are specific times, like now. Now is a specific time. Specific times in the past, or could be specific times in the future. I'm looking forward to, and which action? I'm looking forward to drinking water. So another type 4. So you can see that type 4 is very common in English. And again, we got this to. So this to here is a preposition. And I've got some other examples that use this to as a preposition, which take a type 4. So Lucy's used to living in London. John's addicted to eating chocolate. Their approach to bringing up children is, we decided to drink water. So it's a plus a type 1. And we saw this pattern before. So we're talking about the past. And we kind of got two actions after each other. So decide and drink water. But in English, we have this pattern where we use a type 2 first, followed by a type 1. Some other examples, they started to drink water. Lucy needed to drink water. Jim and Claire wanted to drink water. Thumping is a lot of fun. Drinking water is a lot of fun. So we've got this type 4 again. So type 4 can start a sentence. And we've got some other examples. Driving fast is a lot of fun. Cooking for friends is a lot of fun. Taking photos is a lot of fun. I finished which type of action at 10 o'clock this morning. I finished drinking water at 10 o'clock this morning. So this one takes a type 4, and it's because the verb finish. So after finish, you need a type 4, and it comes straight after. You might drink water. So might is like should, could, would, may, can, always takes the type 1 after it. I will be plus what type of action at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. I will be drinking water at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We got a type 4, drinking water, comes after be, will be. And again, we got this type 4 time at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So a very specific time, this time in the future. She started to drink water. Okay, very similar one. She starts. Okay, this time it's a type 4. So she starts drinking water, but she starts to drink water. So start is a special verb. It can take both a type 4 and a type 1. But with a type 1, you need the 2 after it. So she starts to drink water. I've listed some other examples of verbs that are similar to start. Jack began drinking water. Jack began to drink water. I like drinking water, type 4. I like to drink water, type 1. Lucy prefers to drink water, type 1. Lucy prefers drinking water. So notice the pattern. Okay, and that was the test. And I was a little bit tricky. I said, use which type, and I implied that it could be type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. In this test, you only use type 1 and type 4. So the test was a little bit tricky. I wanted to highlight how important type 4 is when it comes to forming sentences. It's not just the continuous. It appears in lots of parts of the sentence. So if you know when to use the type 4, you'll become more confident in your English. So beware of type 4. Okay, so if you got something wrong, what I suggest you do is to take the one that you got wrong. Now you know whether it's a type 1 or a type 4 coming after it, is to practice making sentences with those ones. So for example, if you got she's afraid of wrong, but now you know she's afraid of plus type 4, just make some sentences. Make 3 of your own examples. So she's afraid of speaking with her boss. She's afraid of going out at night. She's afraid of drinking too much. Make your own sentences. And when you make your own sentences, you make the connection between the grammar type and the action type. You make it clearer for yourself. So you're being active in your learning. Okay, so well done for doing the test. If you got any of the questions wrong, don't worry, just practice them. It will come easier for you. And we'll carry on. So there will be more videos on chunking. I'll probably do some more tests. Probably in the next test, I will mix it up a little bit more. So there will be some type 2s and some type 3s as well. Anyway, go forth with your English.